What's up, New Jersey? Welcome back to another episode of the NJ1ST podcast. My name is Ryan McDonald. Make sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel and on Rumble. Follow all social medias at NJ1ST and my personal social media at Ryan McDonald USA. Today's video is going to go into our primary elections that we just had June 6th this week, the results, but also we're going to talk about first the 2024 elections, the primaries that are going on, unfortunately, in 2023 before you've even had or finished our general election. New Jersey is like that. But also my Substack and working on NJ1ST.com. So make sure to keep up with all my work, ryanmcdonald.substack.com, and I'll be running a monthly Substack for NJ1ST.substack.com as well. Let's get into this. Trump hurt the GOP brand. Former minority leader explains his strategy for winning over NJ voters. Former Assembly Minority Leader John Bramnick speaks about winning back public trust in a post-Trump era. Now, if I remember correctly, it was just 2 years ago where Senator John Bramnick was campaigning for re-election alongside Governor Murphy for re-election. Yes, the Governor Murphy through the pandemic 2021. What the hell? The NJ GOP was always against Donald Trump, from Bob Hugin to John Bramnick to J.R. Carmen to Matt Rooney to any of the candidates, Republican candidates, basically a lot of them that said that they supported Trump. They didn't. They were never Trumpers. From 2015, 2016 he won. They supported him reluctantly every time. In 2018, they hardly lifted a finger for him. 2020, they didn't do crap for him. I had to go to Pennsylvania to the campaign for Donald Trump because there was no campaign in New Jersey. 2022, they mocked Dr. Oz. They mocked Republican candidates on the Trump side. They didn't endorse Kari Lake. They completely went against Doug Mastriano in 2022. And now we're going to be in 2024. And look, DeSantis is running, and now here's Christie running, and the NJ GOP says now it's their time to not support Donald Trump. John Bramnick says that Trump's presidency caused a problem for the Republican brand. And ever since January 6th, people are concerned whether or not they can trust Republicans, and that they'll never be able to get a majority in New Jersey if people don't trust Republicans. And it's all because of January 6th, all because of Donald Trump. He even goes on to say that the Let's Go Brandon slogan is derogatory and aimed at President Joe Biden. The very last line of this article says, last week, Democrats confirmed that they have tabled plans to boost next year's voter turnout by seeking to add a ballot initiative. So they're not going to go through with plans to boost voter turnout by making the center of their campaign abortion access. So they're not going to do that because next year they're going to point fingers at all the Republicans and say they are the ones making this election about abortion. All the Democrats are going to make their election about anything other than abortion and blame all the Republicans saying that they're making it about abortion. Watch, guys. It's right here. They're telling you what they're going to do. And speaking of next year, we have Christie, who officially announced he's running for president, and in the most unfashionable way, over in New Hampshire, not in New Jersey, because he left New Jersey. He left us to fucking die. Pardon my French. He left us to rot under Governor Murphy. He didn't lift a finger. He never once showed his face. He's I don't have a single nice thing to say about the man. And I have been in this for 5 years all over the state. He is nowhere to be found. He's on the other side. He was the person who recommended Christopher Wray to be appointed as FBI director by President Trump. President Trump says that was the mistake. We all know that, but Christie is not a good guy. I do not believe so at all. And we're going to listen to what he has to say about Donald Trump, the person who he supposedly supported this whole time. But no, he was a never Trumper this whole time, like I alluded to before. Let's listen to him.
He is, for those of you who read the Harry Potter books, like Voldemort. He is he who shall not be named. Well, let me be clear, in case I have not been already. The person I am talking about, who is obsessed with the mirror, who never admits a mistake, who never admits a fault, and who always finds someone else and something else to blame for whatever goes wrong, but finds every reason to take credit for anything that goes right, is Donald Trump. 8 years ago, it was amusing. 8 years ago, you were entertained. I forgive you. But it ain't funny anymore. It's not amusing anymore. It's not entertaining anymore. It is the last throes of a bitter, angry man who wants power back for himself, not for you. If you think for 1 minute, when he says, I am your retribution, if you think he wants to be your retribution, forget it. He's going to be retribution for one person and one person only, himself.
The NJ GOP is preparing their rhino split from the America First MAGA movement that they bandwagoned and ride the heels of for the last 8 years, as Christie just admitted. America First and NJ First Patriot Mike Christie shares a screenshot circling Bob Healy, who was the Congressional District 3 candidate in 2022, did not support Donald Trump, didn't get the endorsement from Donald Trump. He's here in New Hampshire with Christie, supporting his presidential bid, it looks like, all the way up in New Hampshire. And Ian Smith, who was the one who stood up to Governor Murphy with the Belmar Gym, he was the one who was primaried by Bob Murphy, by the NJ GOP, and they won but lost in the general election against Andy Kim. Looks like they're in this together. It looks like Tom Szymanski is departing the NJ GOP to open a new business. Yeah, who is this? We don't care, because he was the rhino that was at the helm of the NJ GOP. The thing that he takes credit for is the Bob Healy victory that we just showed before against Ian Smith. You know, the Bob Healy guy that's now supporting Christie. And now this guy here, Tom Szymanski, is tossing off the mantle, the baton, to a new NJ GOP leader, Teresa Valadares, I believe. And she is the former campaign manager, I think, of Bob Healy, and is affiliated with Jack Ciattarelli people as well. So this is going to be the 2024-2025 Rhino fight. They're preparing early for the Rhino fight. Lakewood alerts Teresa Valadares, political operative with strong local connections, appointed to New Jersey GOP executive director. So that's who we're talking about. This woman here is 27 years old, taking over the NJ GOP state politics. Well, when I was 27 years old, I was involved in the NJ First, America First MAGA movement, and that's probably why I got blacklisted and never was my volunteer work used. Miss Valadares has a long-standing connection with the local Askanim, I'm supposing that's Jewish, and officials, and her ascension to one of the most powerful posts in the GOP state politics is expected to provide a major boon to Orthodox Jewish allies throughout the Garden State. Yes, the NJ GOP, as well as the national GOP, have a foreign influence lobbyist problem. Definitely. Republican Municipal Chairman John Kirpus says, thank goodness the new NJ GOP Executive Director, Teresa Valadares, is independent and couldn't possibly be someone who could favor Jack Ciattarelli in the governor's primary race. So this is Eric Arpert. He is Jack Ciattarelli's campaign manager. And this is Teresa Valadares, and that was Bob Healy's campaign manager. And now Teresa, the 27-year-old, is now the leader of the NJ GOP, the executive director, in charge of it all. Pictured here with Jack Ciattarelli's campaign manager. I'm sure that Jack will try for that 2025 county line victory to win the primary and be the nominee, the candidate for 2025 Republican victory in New Jersey for governor. I mean, they're going to take on Steve Fulop, right? The Jersey City guy. He's running for governor. That's who the Democrats are going to pick. We'll see. By segueing on over to the NJ GOP primary that just took place, we'll get into the results, but unfortunately there was only really 3 primaries that happened this year, 2023. There was at least 80 assembly seats up for re-election, some Senate seats, and the one great senator we had, State Senator Ed Durr, they tried to primary and throw out. Thankfully and luckily he won, but unfortunately Legislative District 24, Josh Akins right here, he did not win. And that was one of the America First, NJ First candidates that we wanted to get in. And here is Bill Spadilla. He is on the campaign trail for 2025, make no doubt about it. So it was Legislative District 3, 4, and 24 out of basically 40 possible legislative districts, 80 seats up for re-election. There was only 3 primaries. And Bill Spadilla was fantastic on Super Saturday, as they like to call it, the weekend before the Super Tuesday, the primary vote, I suppose. But door knocking for common sense candidates in Blackwood. So this is Legislative District 4, where it was Denise Gonzalez, it was Nick DeSilvio, Michael Clark. They were primarying the Rhinos because it was the team with Ed Durr. And right here is door knocking with my good friend Ed Durr. Senator Ed Durr as well posted pictures of Bill Spadilla, sorry, I got to get used to that. Bill Spadilla attending the event for door knocking. Great event and turnout for door knocking. That's what you need, canvassing. And as well here, like I just showed before, this is in Mount Olive, Legislative District 24, has some volunteers on that last weekend before the final push to Tuesday. So this would be Saturday. I couldn't attend. I had a previous, my best friend had a gender reveal for their first baby, and I previously told him I could attend. So this was on Saturday. It was just notified the day before on Friday. They must have some sort of volunteer organization, and that's good because I was interested in getting organized with them. I have been with the North Jersey movement of trying to get involved and get other people aware of who's the right candidates to vote for here in Bergen County. Right here, we got Sussex and Warren for Pallotta, and Bergen wasn't the county line, but Pallotta won both in 2020 and in 2022. But I found out that I was blacklisted. I wasn't allowed to, volunteer for Pallotta's campaign because of certain NJ GOP staffers. And it is specifically Kenneth Gonzalez. I was told by an insider of the NJ GOP that Kenneth Gonzalez is the person who's blackballing me and or blacklisting me, whatever they want to call it. And it's unfortunate that he doesn't have any posts of Josh Akins. He is supposedly the guy in charge. That's what I was told by Josh when I wanted to get involved. And I notified Josh a month beforehand, told him I had a schedule I could give for free. But doesn't look like Kenny took his campaign seriously. I don't know. I want to believe that Josh is telling the truth, that this guy is in charge of the campaign, in charge of the strategy, in charge of the volunteer efforts. If that's the case, then he must have told them over and over to contact me. And even here on the post 2 weeks ago tells me contacting him for the last ditch effort of, please, can I please get involved? Your campaign, your boss is telling me and telling you to involve me. But again, I don't know. I don't know what else to do, but I guess whatever. That's the end of that. Josh Akins ran an honorable campaign, and he did it the proper way. He built up a grassroots base before running in 2021 and 2022. He was able to get over 700 Board of Ed parents elected with the help of himself and Rise New Jersey. But I hope he doesn't leave NJ politics. I hope he stays in the fight. I'm sure he will. Make sure he gets some time off, as well as spend time with his family. I know he's a very, very family-oriented man. It's unfortunate that Josh Akins lost. He would have been a great fighter in the assembly. It's unfortunate that Legislative District 4, Michael Clark lost. Him and Nick DeSilvio would have been a great team, as well as Denise Gonzalez. But at least we have Legislative District 3, Senator Ed Durr. He won his re-election against Beth Sawyer. I hope Josh Akins and the other people who primaried the NJ GOP continue their political efforts. And yeah, that's all for this week's episode of the NJ First podcast. I am experimenting with NJ1ST.com, so be sure to look out for that. Subscribe to all social medias at Ryan McDonald USA, at NJ First. Thanks for listening, guys.